few of you in here already. That's good. Welcome. So today I've been playing around down here. I got my hairs did, but I am in the market for a new camera, and I was hoping to get some opinions from you guys. If any of you have experience with the mirrorless cameras. I've been doing a ridiculous quantity of research on these things, and I just a little lost. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's certain features that I need. There's certain features that are less important, but look at all you guys. Hi, hi, hi. So the basic things that I need out of a camera are, I need an external mic port because a fish room, you know, it's not rocket science there. What I wanted was a flip screen as well, but it seems like there isn't a non-SLR. Yeah, got my hairs did for you guys, feeling fresh. Seems like there's not a good option for having both the flip screen and the mic port, unfortunately. Price range, I'm trying to keep it under $2,000. I already have a very capable SLR, so I didn't really want to buy another SLR. Though the Canon 80D is probably a good solution, but here's the reality of my life. I travel a lot, and carrying my current kit bag with my laptop, my SLR, my lenses, my flashes, all the things that go along with it weighs almost 40 pounds, and I am not a beefcake. So I was hoping to go with something really small like this mirrorless. It weighs like 1.5 pounds, and the entire kit bag with multiple lenses and even a gimbal for stabilization is only like 5 pounds, maybe 8 pounds. More likes. I always like the likes. You guys have no idea how that really truly translates with YouTube. It makes a huge difference. So the camera I'm trying right now is the Sony a6500. It's really compact. It's image. Thanks, Bob. Beefcake. Not quite a beefcake. In my youth, I was a beefcake. Now I forget what I was saying because of the beefcake comment. It's pretty ridiculous. I did have a haircut. I was looking like a shaggy dog. I could not take it. If this part of my hair, if I can pinch it, I feel like it's too long. I am not very good at having much hair. Just not for me. I'm short hair, don't care. Happy birthday, Edward. I had long hair down past my waist until I was 17 years old. It was so long that I could sit on it. Tina asked if male apple snails will try and mate with each other. Absolutely. They are indiscriminate with their sexy time. They are absolutely fine with mating with anything that moves, really. I remind people with pink, I've gotten that my entire adult life. I like to say people should tell Pink that she reminds them of me, but you know. Oh, I have the money for the camera. It's not that. And like what's really, really cool about my situation is that the Sony rep for this region is actually a fellow dive parent. And so he has offered, I mean, that's why I have this one sitting here. He's pretty much letting me try out any camera I want, and loaned me a bunch of, like a really nice macro lens. I just can't get over how small even these lenses are. They feel like toys to me. I've been shooting SLR for 15 years, and those are some beefy cameras, and they're heavy. And I love my Nikon for photography, but the reality is I end up reshooting videos constantly because of focus issues, because I forget to hit record because I'm a genius, and I need something better. Also, the lighting down here is really challenging, so the Sony I'm looking at is Right now I shoot with a Nikon D7100 with a Tokina f2.8 macro lens or an 18 to 155 kit lens. I'm looking at the Sony a6500. The beautiful part of all of this is that my local Sony rep, since we're both dive parents, he's really been helping me out, and he even offered to help me get a pretty nice discount on it. So it's going to mean instead of me just being able to buy a camera body, I'll be able to get a camera body and some lenses. And my soft box has been broken for 6 months, like there's bulbs dangling off of it. I should really replace that because lighting down here really needs some improvement. Your cat ate all the ham. That's a criminal offense. Yep, new haircut. I need to dye it though. Look at those roots. All right. Can you keep Hillstream loaches with Bolivian rams? They are not at all from the same kind of water. I don't need people to donate money. I mean, I do have a donation tab on my website if people are so inclined, but you know, I work for a living. My husband works for a living. This is all stuff that I can write off through my business. I consider it to be an investment in materials. It's just sometimes it takes a little bit longer. I got a super chat from Rachel. Hey, it's even spelled right. Is there a good dither for Chili Rasbora? Mine are scaredy cats. School in the corner of my tank. I think that rosy loaches, Petroichthys species rosy, I can show you them in a moment, are a really great dither for Chili Rasboras. Another thing you may want to look at is your discharge of your filter, because if the quietest part of the aquarium is back where they're hiding, sometimes just manipulating the discharge so it's in a slightly different area can make a quieter part in the aquarium where you want them to be, and they'll come out much more. Oh boy. Do you want more vlog kind? Jeez Louise, you guys are vlog kind of camera or face camera. What I need is something that is more practical for me to travel. What I need is something that will streamline my experience shooting down here in the fish room, allow me to do multiple angles for you guys, and just be more user-friendly. The focal points on my Nikon, again, that camera is fantastic for photography, but it's really not designed to be a camera that's used for videography like this, you know, like first person. So I need a better solution. Am I a feminist? How is that relevant to fish keeping? Is betta a good dither for neon tetras? You mean are neon tetras a good dither for betta sometimes? I am looking mainly at Sony, not Canon. If I were to get a Canon, it'd be the 80D, and I already have an SLR that's just as capable, though that one does have the flip screen, and it has really good recognition points, and it has good white balance and easy white balance control. The 80D is a fantastic camera, but again, it would mean, well, it would mean replacing all my lenses, reformatting all my stuff, like. Do I ever order, Timothy Tentinger asked, do I ever order fish for folks that I don't generally carry? Yes. I do, all the time, for frequent customers, repeaters. They want something special, they want to combine orders, whatever. I don't know what to tell you about the Tubifex worms. I don't feed Tubifex worms, so. Species spotlight on bumblebee shrimp, I will. I have to pull them into an aquarium where it's easier to get footage of them. I haven't tried the 7R2, I believe, is a full frame, so that we're looking at about $2,500 plus lenses. That's a little out of my reach for this year, maybe in another year. As things continue and improve, my business is growing, YouTube's increasing, then that would be possible. Hold on one second. Where'd that go? But for right now, it's a little bit tricky. Justin, can you look out for some of these spammers for me, if you don't mind? I've never understood why people are kind of jerks on a live stream. It doesn't make any sense. No, that the seeds on that moss upstairs is really strange. It's been at seed like that for months and months, and nothing's really happening, and it looks kind of neat. But usually that doesn't happen with underwater moss. What size tank would I recommend as a step up from a 30 gallon? If you have the space for a 4-foot tank, go for a 75 gallon over a 55. You have better depth in it for planting and aquascaping, and more surface area is always better for your fish. Bob, I should make you a mod too if you don't mind. Let me see if I can find you. I meant to set this as no, I don't want to put Bob in timeout. I meant to set this to limit the chat so I could actually see your questions, but I forgot because I'm senile. All right, there was a super chat that said, in my opinion, newly planted tank, high light for short period of time or low light for long period of time. There's a lot of variables there. It depends on what you're planting, what your goals are, what your maintenance routine is going to be, how you're going to stock it, what your filtration is. Are you dosing? Are you using an enriched substrate? Are you running CO2? You know, if you do a lot of high light and you're not dosing and you're not using CO2, all you're going to be doing is creating an algae storm. But if you're doing those other things, then the higher light, you know, there's certain limiting factors for plants. You know, light, CO2, and nutrients. So I rarely think that there's any real easy, quick, blanket answers to planted tank questions. A lot of it is trial and error. What is Bob doing? Why do people keep saying Bob? What fish is good for top swimmers in a Similis tank? Which Similis? There's several. Do you mean which Similis? Because there's like Coreodoros Similis. There's some Similis cichlids. I'm confused. I'm sorry. Shell dwellers. I actually really like Danios as a top dweller for Similis, or for shell dwellers in general. I also really like rainbows, even though they're not from the same area at all. They tend to work really good. The rainbows are nice and bold, as are some of the larger Danios. Some barbs can work out all right. The thing that you need to keep in mind is you want to make sure you choose a fish that is not particularly prey driven, so it doesn't try and pick off your fry. But usually rainbows or bigger Danios work out really, really well. Hi, Amber from Vermont. I love Vermont. Some of my favorite human beings in the world are up in the Burlington area. Summer Tubs 2018. What kind of shrimp? All the shrimp. I am going to be doing so much stuff outside. People like my shirt. Let me show it to you. It's my coffee themed shirt. I thought it was funny. I'm not really sure why. Do I have any experience with saltwater? None. Hello from Dubai. That's a Wilkes Bar. Welcome back. The cherry shrimp in a 10-gallon tank with 50 TDS. Is that okay? Should be. Usually I keep them a little bit higher than that, usually around 200. Kind of fish you should put in your 40-gallon with albino bristlenose and opaline gouramis. You know, guys, the thing about me offering stocking suggestions is I'm going to tell you the fish that I like. My best advice is to really look around and see what you like and make sure that you do a bunch of research about that fish. That's why I do species spotlights. Pardon me. My lunch is not agreeing with me. So that I can give you my experiences with fish, but I can't choose your fish for you. In a 40 breeder, that's like a palace for almost everything I work with. So, I mean, I could tell you any fish that I've ever sold and it would probably work. Have I ever run out of water? Entirely too frequently. Rainbows with a Bashir. Hope it's a small one. Someone asked about Corys to establish an aquarium. They would not be my choice. Would I ever slip into the... Hello from Churro. Who's from Churro? Sarah, hi. I'm supposed to go back out there again before too long. What am I drinking? Pepsi? Nothing exciting. Can I make t-shirts? I plan to try and get some merch started next week. I am not very technologically savvy, and I know I need to do it. I know you guys would love it. I know it would probably be good for me and my wallet, but I just have such a hard time making myself sit down and do design work. Do I need a business license to sell fish online? Yes, and I pay a lot of taxes. Greenhouse doing in the cold winter? It is cold. It's about 25 to 30 degrees warmer than it is outside, which has been great since it's been negative 15, negative 5, and 0 Fahrenheit lately. Pepsi, I was at getting my hair cut. It's what they had there. Normally I am a Coke girl. Make my daughter design merch. My youngest is an extremely talented artist. I wish that she would let me use some of her drawings for merch. I actually, what I want to do is my knuckles, but the problem is there is another company called Fish Pimp that sells fishing lures and stuff, and I'm worried about copyright infringement, so I've got to figure out a way to do the knuckles without it being copyright infringement. Will I go on tour? I'm no rock star. I'm just a girl in her basement. I do have several speaking engagements planned. Am I going to San Francisco in August? I think I am. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that trip. She won't let me use it. Well, you know, artwork is a very personal thing. She did come spring from my loins, but I would never want to do anything that makes her really uncomfortable. Will I be coming to Singapore? Not unless my money tree sprouts some serious branches. Colorado next month. I wish Colorado was a little bit more commutable for me. That's a hike. I'd love to come see him too. What would I recommend to start breeding? There's so many fish. There's so many fish that would... Is there a safe hand washing soap to use when working on aquariums? I just use normal soap. I just make sure I rinse really well. I mean, I think a lot of people are really overly paranoid about that. Now, I don't use lotions until I'm done working in the tank, which is why, like, my knuckles are all busted up and split, and I have the most lovely nails on the planet. But for soap, I don't worry about soap that much as long as I do a really good rinse. Right now I have winter hands, and winter hands in fish tanks are not pretty ones. Do I plan to come to Germany? I would love to go to Germany, and my daughter's actually studying German right now in order to do an exchange program in a year or so. And I think that if she goes to live over there, I'll probably end up coming to Germany to visit her because I'd miss her. But other than that, I haven't been invited. In order for me to travel to these really far places, I have to be paid, or at least, you know, not have it cost me money, or I can't, you know, like, fish pimps aren't rich, so I have to be more realistic about my travel plans. But I would love, a really good friend of ours just moved their whole family to Germany. I would love to visit them as well. And I have a bunch of fish keeping friends in Germany. So eventually, I was just talking about that earlier today. It's funny that you guys are asking me about a European. When will I see Joey again? I know I will see him for sure in March because we're both lecturing at the same event. I'm not sure if we're going to see each other before then or not. If you switch from low light to a high output light to help my mom take Carlo, could it burn my other plants? Depends on what your other plants are. I mean, if you have really low light things like Anubias or ferns up higher in the water column with really high powered lights, it can not always work out so well. You guys can rest assured that if I'm coming to your area, I need to sit down and do this too. I need to get all my events up on my website, but I'll always make sure that I mention it on my Thursday videos where I'll be next as well. Is there any way that certain products can sponsor me? I mean, they have to reach out to me and make me an offer. It has to be a product that I believe in, that I would already use, that it'd take a pretty special circumstance. I'm not particularly for sale. I mean, I would love to make some money off sponsors, don't get me wrong. But I feel like I have to have integrity with it, and it has to be things that I really, really believe in. You guys notice I rarely mention brands of basically anything, because I just, you know, with the influence that I've developed here comes like a personal responsibility to you guys to not mislead you. So I'm not entirely sure what I would do as far as sponsorship, but it hasn't been a problem since I don't have any. So I haven't had to deal with that yet. Do I watch any other YouTuber channels? I watch a lot of YouTube, just not fish keeping. I watch Philip DeFranco, I watch Casey Neistat, I watch Jenna Marbles and her boyfriend Julian Solomita. I really enjoy their podcast as well. I watch all kinds of stuff. I watch a lot of the food channels, cooking channels. What else do I watch? Some beauty vloggers so I can improve my skills in the eyebrow department. Watch all kinds of stuff. I watch Joey. I definitely watch Joey. I mean, we're friends though, you know, like I miss him, so watching our videos is, you know, get to see what's going on. Or if we've talked about stuff, then I can see it later on his channel. Filthy Frank. Ugh. My website is supposed to list my events, but I haven't put any in. I really don't know what the holdup here is here. So I just have not been accomplishing all the things that I should be doing while I've had all this cold weather and snow days. Instead, I've been playing a lot of like games on my phone and staring off blankly into space, being frustrated. How did I get famous? I don't think I am famous. What was my first fish? My first fish was not actually a fish. It was an African dwarf frog. And then I got apple snails. My daughters are 13, almost 14, and 15 years old. Captain Cranky Pants shirt. I'm sorry, Captain, but you're just not that pretty. I mean, I love you to death. You should see the hairy eyeball he's given me. Of course, he always gives me the hairy eyeball, so that's nothing new. Minimum tank size. What frustrates me about the aquatics industry, I think what frustrates me the most about this industry is that I feel like people are pretty disingenuous. I feel like there's a lot of folks out there that sort of present themselves as experts or make recommendations on products or plants or fish in order to turn a profit instead of looking out for the well-being of the consumer. And I find it to be really, really frustrating. And I think it's generally pretty transparent when people are trying to sell you something, but there's some people out there that are really freaking shady. And it makes me absolutely sick. And you'll notice that I rarely do collaborations. I rarely do any of that stuff because it's really difficult for me. If I do those things, then I'm giving them my endorsement. And while sometimes I think it would be fun to like be a part of the whole YouTube scene, I'm really apprehensive about the potential for misleading you guys or making a secondary recommendation. You know, my biggest priority is just, you know, keeping it real down here. And if I make a mistake, I'll tell you, because you know, I'm human, but have I ever thought of what? Opening a store before the I don't want to have a full-time job where I have to wear pants and shoes and like have hours and talk to people. The best part of my job is that I am, you know, the queen of the castle. I can work when I want it. If I want to sleep in, if I drank too much the night before, I can sleep in the morning. You know, if I don't feel good, I don't have to go to work. I mean, because I'm already here anyway. Like, I have no desire to run a retail store. I really don't. What hair dye do I use? Usually Paul Mitchell, Inkworks. I can't give you tips on a Betta sorority because I haven't done one yet, and I see a lot of people in the comments commenting that it's not a wise idea, but I think it could probably work in a larger tank. Am I PA born and bred? Yep. I did live in Delaware for a while. My natural hair color? I don't know. I haven't had natural hair in 25 years. I used to be blonde, but now it looks to be like a light brown. What's one fish I don't have that I want? So many fish. I really want waru. My cats' names are Pepper, Elizabeth, Mabel Grace, and Bozo the Ass Clown. What's my most expensive fish? My Cuban gar. Pottstown, that's not too far. Poor Bozo, my husband named him. Well, here's the thing about Bozo. We'll take a brief foray into the cat world for a second. I am kind of a crazy cat lady. Bozo, my daughter found underneath our deck when she was about 2 years old, and he was so emaciated and so skinny that he was basically almost dead, and she was the only one that could reach him, so she like syringe fed him water and liquefied food several times a day for a few weeks until he was strong enough and we could get him out. And we thought that he would just be like an outdoor shop cat, so my husband named him thinking he'd be like, you know, his junkyard cat, and turns out he like sleeps with us and like licks your face and is a very sweet cat. But well, Clelia wanted to name him Princess Sparkles, so I think Bozo is better than that. Will killies eat their fry? Probably. I haven't really worked with very many killies. Let's see. Aquatic turtles. I don't think they'd be a good fit for my fish room unless I got some that were illegal. It's pretty warm down here. Like, I had to turn off the heater because it was 86 down here, and I was feeling like I was gonna melt. Pool filter sand as a substrate. That's a fantastic choice for substrate. It's 15 bucks a bag for 50 pounds. Can't go wrong. Oh boy, there goes the chat. Have I dabbled in aquaponics? Not yet. Would I ever get interns? Probably not. It's nice meeting you too. Maritza? Is that what that was? We'll call you Mary. Montco. Is that Western Pennsylvania? Have I ever owned a reptile? Meh. Not really. My favorite tattoo. I have a lot of favorites. Probably that mermaid is one of my favorites. It's a fishing lure. It always looks distorted when I try and show it. My arm just doesn't really bend the right way. I think it's kind of cool. It's a sectioned mermaid fishing lure. I don't watch television. I do watch Vikings though. That's a fun show to watch. Have I been to Atlanta? I lectured there 2 years ago, I think, for the club down there. Do I think there should be a dramatic price increase or ban on monster fish? I think that there should be ethical sellers who are not selling fish that are inappropriate, even down to things like the common pleco. I don't think that more laws make things better. I think that being a responsible person would make things better. Do you have to individually feed your pygmy coras? Not one by one, but you got to make sure that they are target fed. Will my husband make any more sculptures? Yeah, he doesn't love the winter. Chris is not a fan of the winter, and he's a shift worker, so he works. I mean, he's gone 15 hours a day. He leaves when it's dark. He gets home when it's dark, whether he's on night shift or day shift, and it's hard to be inspired, and it's also freaking cold outside. He just made a really cool eyeball sculpture for the doctor that made his prosthetic eye. What are the shrimp with the fan filter arms? There's lots of fan filter shrimp. How'd he lose his eye? He has a genetic condition. Best beginner size tank, I think, is the biggest one you can get. 20 long is easy. There was just a loud bang. Let's look at some fish. What do you guys want to see? Let me see if I have enough battery life. What do you guys want to... Whoa. Let's see. What do you guys want to see today? Shrimp? Captain Cranky Pants. All right, we'll start with him. Say hi, Captain. You guys get to see me in my slippers, too. How embarrassing. There's Captain. And Whiskey. But, Captain. Amanos, I can show you some Amanos. These are really tiny, but there's a bajillion D Amano shrimp in here. I try and keep several hundred in stock at all times. Let's see, maybe we can see them easier there. $20-gallon long would be fine for Shelly's, to whoever asked that. There's some tangerine tigers. I should turn off the room lights so you can actually see into the aquariums. Someone said endlers. Here are the endlers. I wish I could focus this for you guys. It drives me crazy. But they're looking good. They're sexy little fish. There, that's a little better. Someone said placos. And someone else said opistos. So let's see. Some Borelli in here. Borelli blue. It's focusing on the green spot algae. Oh, Rhizius wolveri. Oh, there's a calico ancestris. There's the rice fish. There's the barred pencils, one of my favorite fish. Of course, you guys know I say every fish is my favorite fish. I would not recommend keeping apistogrammas with Neocaridina. Don't look at that tank, it's a surprise. Let's see. Here's Trifasciatus. That's the subdominant male, though. He's not looking... Oh, there's the dominant guy in the back there. Let's see if he'll... My goldfish are outside. There he is. Let's see if he'll extend his dorsal rays for us. There he goes. Oh, did you see those? He's a sexy beast. Then you guys said poffers, and then we'll come back to plecos. You see my mess? Puffer. Puffer. There's actually quite a lot of puffers in here. But the plant is short end out 20 long, and it's just stock full of plants to keep them from fighting. What else can we look at over here? Little anchor cats. Oh, these guys. Whoa. What do I feed the anchor cats? Frozen Cyclops, preferably, or frozen baby Brian. Look at all the Sowelia on the back, because I haven't cleaned the black glass for a while. There's some algae growing on it, and they are in heaven. Blue shrimp, someone asked about. Let's see if we can find them. There's actually, oh, there's one. See? See if we can find another one. Let me set you guys down and I'll move the camera. There we go. There's like 30 or 40 in here, and I see like one at a time because there's so many plants. They're in the back here right now. But I don't know. Just a little Brooklyn tank. Hey, there's my coffee cup. I've been looking for that. You guys said plecos. Let's take a quick look. We'll spy on the Contradens real quick. Let's see. Problem with trying to show you plecos is they're not always particularly visible. You can see a dorsal fin behind that little Aspidoris. There's another one up in there. There's some Ancestris in here too. There's a big male Ancestris. It's my Leioticara, who think that they're going to be fed. Look at them all fired up and breeding dressed though. They look amazing. Let's see, and then over here, oh, I just tripped. There's a pleco tail. There's another pleco tail. There's another Panoculus tail. If they're happy, you don't really see them. So, have a tail. There's an L173B. These are super rare fish. I had told, oh, let's see if we can get these rosy loaches to come out. These are the ones that I said are good as a dither for small shy fish. They're in the back there. They're a mid-water hovering loach. And this is all the bigger they get. You can see how tiny and petite they are. Really, really adorable. And an appropriate scale to mix with smaller fish. Someone just asked me to show something. Oh, the big boys. Let's see if he'll beg like a puppy like he always does. Are you hungry? Look at that. Look at that speckly chin. You gotta admit he's pretty darn cute. Until you look at his teeth. And then you realize he's, you know, a vicious predator. Yeah, they bite real hard. This one bites the worst. Let's see if we can get closer so you guys can see his teeth. You see the teeth? Like razor sharp rows of, double rows of, oh, there's some algae. They have razor sharp teeth. There's my girl, my favorite fish. No, they don't really attack each other. Sometimes when they're eating. How big were they when I got them? About the size of a finger. They're so cute. I could watch these guys all day long. They're so cute. Look at how they just sort of hang there. They're planking in the fish tank. It's a 7-foot tank. Planking fish. Look, that one's resting just on that fin. Completely horizontal. Someone asked to see the shellies. There's no substrate because the fish just would push it into the filters. There's the Shelleys for you guys. My fish room's too warm for axolotl tanks. I used to have them before I had so many aquariums, but it's just too warm down here. There should be fry right up here in the front. There almost always is. Let me sit still for a minute. That mama is the best mama in the tank. She really protects those babies. Yep, there's teeny tiny ones. She really is the best. I think that's the dominant pair. This male and that female. There's another pair back there, that guy and that girl, that also always have fry. But these two are really run the show, and they own this front like quarter of the aquarium. There's a Synodontis in that cave, as well as the Cyprichromis. Oh, can I talk about breeding Pseudomugil gartraidae? Sure. I mean, I have some right here. These are Aru 4s. Of course, they're in the back of the aquarium, so you're not going to see them. Let me sit back down. I like to mop spawn them, which means I put them in a relatively small aquarium with a lot of either plants or yarn mops up at the surface, and then every 2 days or so I'll pull the mops and put them into a tank for the eggs to hatch. The eggs take a while to hatch, a couple weeks, and then just start feeding them. Yeah, I have mystery snails back there. I just sat down though, so. Mystery snails are a species I will always have. Pseudomugils do pretty well with summer tubbing. The problem is that they're one of the few species that still predate on their eggs outside. So even if I were to tub them, I'd still have to mop spawn them and move things. So what I should do is set up 2 bins, leave the adult in one, and just keep switching out mops into a grow out one. What time is it? Oh, we got 15 minutes. What's in my greenhouse? A whole bunch of carnivorous plants and about 2,000 gallons of bins right now. Will do a species spotlight every Sunday for as long as I can do a species spotlight. Yeah, I really don't like the Cyprichromis. How many male flower horns in one tank? 1. Fresh aquariums, I have a video about total dissolved solids I would encourage you to watch. That really answers a lot of the questions that you raised in the comments section. Can you put more than 1 pea puffer in a 10-gallon Planet tank? Yes. Do I like endlers? Yes. I have a video on pea puffers, guys. I did a species spotlight on them if you're interested. Am I still going somewhere? Am I still going to do a sorority? I don't know. I'm curious about it. Minimum number of otocats to keep, I think 8. 20 or more is better. Do I put your aquarium water on my greenhouse plants? No, they're carnivorous plants. I use rainwater. They like very, very dilute water. They don't do well with TDS over about 100 to 150 for the most part. So I have a rainwater collection system, and I water them with just rainwater. Now that I'm sitting back, I can't see the comments. That backfired. Have I raised angelfish? Yes. I don't like angels. They eat my profits, literally. They eat the fish that I like to raise. How many ember tetras could happily live in a 10-gallon on their own? I think you could easily do 12 to 15. Do I have MTS? Do you mean Malaysian trumpet snails or multiple tank syndrome? The answer to both questions is yes. I have MTS in the Super Red breeding aquarium specifically. Did all the betta fish sale? I did not sell the bettas. I gave them away to people who are willing to drive here and pick them up. But yes, they've all gotten homes. I didn't feel like it would be right to sell them. I didn't want to profit off it. I just wanted them to go to good homes. Hello from Sweden. Hi, Andre. What lights do I have? Right now I'm using mainly shop lights and clip lamps. Wear my glasses. I think they're right over here. I keep them in my camera bag because I usually wear them when I'm traveling. There you go. You guys can see me in my glasses. Oh, I can read much better now. I actually have really good vision. I just have an astigmatism, so it's just seeing the print across the, I mean, this is like 4 feet away. How's the betta boy doing, Ann? His name's Bob. That's cute. Have I ever had Amazon puffers? No. Could collected rainwater be better for tanks? Maybe. Like, it's similar. It really depends on where you live and your water collection system. For instance, when I traveled to Bermuda, they don't have any naturally occurring fresh water. So what they do is they paint their rooftops with basically, essentially, it's like a limestone or a lime paint. And they have all these channels built into the roof, and then they have underground cisterns, so all the water runs off the roof down into an underground cistern, and that's how they get the bulk of their water, not just for themselves but also for fish keeping. And there's a surprisingly large fish keeping community in Bermuda. I collect water off of my greenhouse right now into a big white, I think it's a 400 or 500 gallon tub. I actually wrote an article about fish keeping in Bermuda for Amazonas Magazine, so if you guys have the digital subscription, you can go back and read old articles. I wrote a lot of articles for Amazonas several years ago. Do I have Geophagus? No. Do I have any flower shrimp? No, I don't really work with fan filters anymore because the vast majority of them are electrofished, and I don't think that's an ethical practice. So, Mike in Seattle, any chance of... Ugh, Mike, you just gotta remind me. Right now it's under snow again. I even pulled it out. I sorted all of it. It's been desperately cold here. We've had 2 decent days since before Christmas. And it's hard for me to make myself sit out there and pick through it. If you throw money at me, I'll send you a box. I'll make it happen. Have I ever kept Danianella? I've kept Danianella translucida. And probably Dracula. I've kept them both. I bred them. They're really easy to breed despite their small size. Hey Chuck, how are you? Good to see you. You made it. We have a few minutes left here. Will I ever keep tiger barbs? Meh, maybe. Do I have any cichlids? Yes, I have Apistogrammas, Crebensis, Leioticara, my Oscar, more Apistogrammas, more Apistogrammas, more Apistogrammas, my shell dwellers, more Apistogrammas. I might be forgetting something, but that's the cichlids I have off the top of my head. Oh boy, there goes the chat. Yeah, I got a haircut finally. I feel like a new girl. Any tips on feeding a large finicky clown knife? Feed him something stinky. Hydra in a shrimp tank. That one's tricky, man. Or woman. I'm not sure. That one's tricky, Adrian. Hydra's tough to get rid of. If you have Azaline spixie snails, zebra apple snails, they'll eat it, but they're also banned from interstate transfer, so you'd have to find them locally. Otherwise, some people use Medications designed for planaria, but I find them to be hit or miss with shrimp. Your mileage will vary. You like the glasses? I can read better. I'm glad someone suggested it. Normally my camera bag's not sitting right next to me, but from playing with this little thing, I couldn't find. I cleaned again, which is always a mistake, and I can't find anything. So I couldn't find my big SD cards. I needed a high-speed SD card for that little camera. 7 rummy nose, be okay, and 20 long cardinals. Yep. Kite schooling fish, there's so many. Cano cyclops. Is that like those can of snails and things that you can buy? I've gotten them as freebies at events. How often do I feed live foods? Right now I don't have any cultures going, but when I do, a couple times a week. Yeah, the Zoo Med ones, Chuck. I think it's an interesting concept, though. I think you have to refrigerate those after you open them. Glasses look better than squinting. I'm still squinting with my glasses because my prescription's like 3 years out of date. I answered that question. Do I feed my Oscar live food? Only occasional crickets. He's biting the freaking mag float right now. Let's see if he keeps doing it. If he keeps doing it, I'll show you guys. Let's see if he does it again. Oh, now he knows I'm watching. See how he knows I'm watching and he backs off from it? Like, oh, who, me? I would never do something as stupid as bite a mag float. He was biting the mag float on repeat. Look at him. He's so embarrassed. I'm publicly shaming you, Captain. See how his color's changing? He's getting more drab. Let's see. Maybe if we sit here and I pretend like I'm not watching him, maybe he'll do it again. How long for mystery snail eggs to hatch? Anywhere from, 10 to 20 some days. Maybe I should feed him. Good light. I see your question, Stefan, but it depends. There's not like a blanket answer for lighting. Not in my opinion, and I'm not going to name off brands to suit you because I don't really have one that I particularly love. I've never seen a more innocent fish in your life. Yeah, right. Captain Cranky Pants is anything but innocent. You hungry? You hungry? You hungry? See his little wiggle dance? He acts like he's never been fed before. Let me get some food for Whiskey, too. So you have to feed Captain first, or he eats all the food. And then I drop in Whiskey's food and he can get to it. Now look, now these guys are begging. I'm not even sure if they're in frame for you. Ouch. Now you don't have to eat the mag float, Captain. Tell you, that fish is a bottomless pit. Hey, food lady, feed me. That's very much what it's like. Between him and the gars, now see Whiskey will come out, vacuum up all his food, and then hide again until he's done eating it, and then he'll come back out, vacuum up more food, and then hide again. You guys see his jaws working down there? No, I don't keep rocket gars. How big is who gonna get? Captain? Captain's like, yeah, Whiskey's full grown and Captain's full grown. I think Captain might actually be a girl, but we won't talk about that. Though they're both, this is a 75-gallon aquarium. They're both full grown. Whiskey is a 4-line Pimla Delicat. Captain is a wild Oscar. Floating pellets better than sinking for Oscar. He won't eat sinking. He's got me trained. He does what, I mean, he has been eating. I'm actually really happy that he's taking to the bug bites, because for about 10 years, he would only eat one brand of food, one size of pellet, and just, I mean, he is a contrary fish in every aspect. Girls can be captains, for sure. But I thought it was a boy when I got him. Do I feed NLS? No. Their ingredient list is good, but I don't like the film it leaves on my water. Too much garlic or fish oils in them. Do I work with saltwater? No. Not yet. Maybe never. Have I ever kept yo-yo loaches? Yep. None in the fish room now. I don't work with a lot of loaches, especially Boscia loaches, because they eat shrimp, they eat snails, and I like having those things in my aquarium. How long would you say it's okay to fast fish for when you're going on vacation? I've left mine for as long as 2 weeks with little to no issue. If you're going to be gone longer than 2 weeks, you may want to at least have someone stop in once or twice to check on things and feed them. Favorite kind of nearite snail? I like the horn nearites. I'll work on the Daisy's rice fish breeding. What type of cribs do I have? Just pelvic, just the phenotype, just Pelvicochromis cribensis. I used to work with Maliwis and a few other species, and I'd like to get back into that. The problem is, I can't really, like, it's a delicate balance between me filling the fish room with fish that I want to keep for me and share with you guys and running a business. I'm almost at the point where if I wanted to, I could just keep fish for the sake of keeping fish again and not have it have to be a business. But I mean, I feel like a big responsibility to the customers that have been with me for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of at a crossroads. I need to make some tough decisions sometime here soon. Or put in another building. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. My husband's doing great. All right, couple more minutes, guys. Let me know. Can I breed my gigantic dinosaur fish? Probably not. They have huge spawns. They are farmed, though I would imagine hormones are involved in that. I don't plan to ever breed them. There are tanks in my greenhouse. Well, there's bins. I don't plan on putting glass aquariums. It would just be an algae farm. What species of shellies do I have? I have Neolamprologus multifasciatus, the smallest ones. Have I started to take over the rest of the basement? The whole basement is mine. There's a washer and dryer over there, but the rest of it is mine. Have I kept the amphibians? Yep. 20-week pregnant. You know what I wanted to name my daughter, Jamie? I wanted to name Abigail Arden. A-R-D-E-N. I thought it was the prettiest name. I also really like the name Hazel. I love the name Mabel that we named our cat. I like those sort of traditional, not necessarily, I don't even know the words I'm looking for, so I'm just going to stop. Will I ever make videos on my turtles? No. Oh, I will not be stopping YouTube. I am really enjoying geeking out with you guys. Ruby, that's a pretty name. I like that one. Yeah, I have an Abigail and a Clelia. Do I have gold barb? There's like 5 species of gold barb. She's a future aqua girl, Christy. SEW01s. We can go take a, whoa. We can go try and take a look at them real quick. I have my ladder over here. They're there. Guess I could put my glasses down, especially if I'm not going to be wearing them. They're in there. A big female right there. Look at these pygmaeus in the midwater. That's what happens when you have a big group of them. They all just school in the middle. All right. I should probably get some work done. Maybe I should do some of the things that, you know, I keep saying that I need to get done, like putting my events up on my website and getting an accurate inventory. But maybe I'll do something else instead. See ya, Chuck. Clown loach is out from hiding. Get more of them. Clown loaches are a schooling fish. You need to have a lot of them for them to feel comfortable. And also make sure, as I mentioned earlier with the chili rasboras and the flow, try manipulating where the flow in your aquarium is. But I hope all of you have an awesome day. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the shares and joining me. And we will do this again next Friday. Maybe I'll try. I have to look at my daughter's dive schedule. She has a giant dive meet tomorrow. That's kind of a big deal. I think she has 3 meets next week. So if I can do it at night, I'm going to try and do it at night for you guys. Maybe I'll do like a super late one for me anyway, like a 10 p.m.er, so that you West Coast folks will have an easier time attending. Thank you for the good luck to her. She's got stiff competition. I'm a freshman in a world of seniors. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.